It's a very structured story. It's magnificent. And last of all, have you seen St Maud? That's the other nominee for Best British Independent Film.
No, that's one I started the other night,
Draco
and
and
to be
Isaac.
honest with you, it had a creepy and it had a creepy feel to it straight away, and it was fun.
An ideal date film, is that what you're saying? Oh,
But I
lost him.
didn't,
Anyway,
I didn't
St
know
Maud
everything failed very
is.
quickly.
Oh, okay.
But no, I was very
St Maud
excited.
is a first-time writer-director, right? Which is,
I,
again, and there might be others that are just, it's mind-boggling. It must be incredibly fucking irritating for people who've directed 20 films and someone could just come out the gate and make something as, I mean, exquisite and disturbing as St Maud. Uh,
but
uh,
on that note, Father, as you
mm.
have done a myriad of different scale projects,
Yes,
can
I'm
you
old.
try Can you try to explain the difference of the experience of working on a $40,000 film versus a $40 million film or
Well,
pounds,
you get,
whatever?
yeah, I can
Go
easily.
on, wait.
You get paid less. But apart from that, it depends. Sorry. So when we made the Potter films, one of the things that you may not have known was unusual because we were young or you had done some work before is they made, although these books were gospel, you know, many millions of people around the world can quote every punctuation mark.
Yeah,
There was a certain kind of freedom. Maybe you didn't feel it when you were so young, but I was given license by Chris and the subsequent directors, and all of us were, that maybe, you know, come up with a line, change it, improvise a bit. You know, we weren't, nothing was set in stone. And it was remarkable for a big budget film like that, that it felt so creatively free. And the same thing is true. I mean, our job is essentially the same. Making a film is exactly the same. You're looking at another person, you're in a situation, you have to imagine that you're there. And, you know, the difference when you make an independent film is practically for our point of view is, you know, there's no trailers and what the lunches from the Pizza Hut or whatever. And you may have paid, you know, I made a film called Mass that was just at Sundance and made a, you know, a big splash, and people assumed that, I don't know why, it could, because it's the same size on screen as everyone else. Well, I think I paid for myself to go there, and we, you know, it was, the thing felt like a bunch of friends putting on a play in Edinburgh. But the end result and what we do is the same. You just are imagining you're in a situation. And so I suppose the main difference is none of that from our point of view. It's just that's just the circumstances. The main difference is the freedom of the storytellers to have a vision and to deal with more complex, more three-dimensional, maybe subjects that you know don't appeal to absolutely everybody and aren't designed to make teenagers line up around the block on a Friday night.
yeah.
But there's room for every kind of story in the world, and
But sometimes better.
it's that.
I wonder with the big budget, and you got, because I see the difference mostly is time. As in, you know, we can't block a scene for an hour. We have to get the scene's got to be shot in an hour.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
yeah.
we don't have any more money. We can't knock on the door of Mr. Warner Brothers and say, please, can we have some more cash? So, but does that? I mean, that can be good and bad, I suppose.
That can be good. That can be great, and the fact that you can't shoot 1,000 who's terrified when they come, it can be fantastic. But that's. I mean, there's a huge difference in terms of our life experience. You know, whether you fly business class or whether you know drive 9 hours to get there, whatever it is. But from the audience's point of view, I think the difference is it's incredibly refreshing to be told the story from a storyteller's point of view, whether it's the writer, director, or whoever. It just because there's a certain corporate blandness that you know of necessity is in a story that's designed to appeal to the whole planet in every language and every culture. And
Yeah.
so that you know there's something about. But what I find is when you tell a story specifically, so if they're British films about Britain, although some of the great British films, like Under the Shadow, are set in other countries, but when it's a story ever watched a film that feels more like it's completely improvised. And it did come from a bunch of workshops. You appeal to no one. But if you tell
Right.
a story that you know and you understand, actually, like the story we are on this partly. What launched you into global superstardom is that you were in these stories set in a British boarding school. You know, with houses. Who knows what houses are? Well, you know, only kids who went to public boarding schools.
Right.
And yet, because it was so specific, it's completely universal. Those themes of friendship and loyalty and courage and stuff, cowardice, those are universal. So that's what I think. That's what makes an independent film. It's an independent voice. It's someone who is who isn't edited and who isn't somehow homogenized by the process of too many people getting involved. I think.
Something fresh. Okay, my last one
No.
for you.
Okay, because I've got many questions for you. You've totally hijacked this
I
interview.
need
Go
some
on.
tips, Father. I need some tips. You've presented many
I have.
watching your videos, and you always do it effortlessly with charm. What do I do if, well, what do I do? Help me out, Father.
What do you do if you're trying to do a live Instagram and the person who everyone's come to see can't get on and sitting in the car park dogging? Well, you are actually dogging. You've got a dog in the back seat, haven't you?
Yes.
Well, what do you want to do? I'm curious what you want to do, because what you don't have to do is try and be Billy Crystal or Ricky Gervais. So you're going to be you. The reason they've asked you is because you have rather brilliantly over the last year or so made yourself a huge social media person and opened up your personality, who you are, to millions of people who like hanging out with you. So people are coming because they like hanging out with you.
All right.
I wouldn't pretend to be an expert on film or independent film, because that's not going to wash with anyone. Why are you doing it? Why did you want to do it? What interests you? What interests you in film and independent film?
Well, first of all, I think I am dodging a bullet here, because I can only imagine getting up on the stage when you can see thousands of your or hundreds rather of your most treasured idols and
Yeah, it's scary.
When you're staring at them in the face and the joke doesn't go down well or something like that, it must be pretty bad. Whereas I have to stare at a screen, and I think there's one technician in a hazmat suit or something to make Wi-Fi doesn't go down. So I'm hoping that will make things somewhat easier.
But so it's an evening with you where you talk us through. I don't know. I mean, it because it's not traditional evening in front of a band and clips and people having dinner. How are you designing it? What are you planning? What are you planning on? You've got a script of some kind.
Well,
structure.
Yeah, some structure, but also a complete acceptance that I don't know what I'm doing. And I think sort of Biff have been very kind and trusting me, and I'm trusting them that we're going to figure it out, as far as they've not done this before. And who knows, it may never be done again.
But look, the thing about, so maybe you can't say this because it's nauseating. It might be nauseating when I say it too, but you have a big audience of filmmakers, of independent filmmakers, most of whom are there to see if they've won or not. And then you'll have the millions of people who come along because you're you. Those filmmakers, they never laugh at anything. They're up there, they're just shitting themselves and full of hatred and aspiration and fear and all the rest of it. But what they may not know, there are many things you need to serve. You need to just remember why you're there, to help celebrate them and find out why they're fab and how they got to make it, and why they tell the story. But I am thrilled that you're doing it for another reason, which is that many of those filmmakers might not know that you're a rather brilliant actor. They might remember you as someone who was a kid in Harry Potter. If they have or haven't seen you in something, if they're watching this, Tom has not matured into, he's not a tree, but he's a fabulous actor. And witness the fact of being asked to do this, he's incredibly popular around the world. And I know, because I produce a bit, that's not nothing when you're financing things. So partly, I'm adding to your fear now. This is an audition for you, for people to know just how charming and fabulous you are. So maybe try lots of different moustaches on during the night, different hats, different voices. Go into Welsh.
I've got many props, designs. I'm hoping they let me bring Willow, because I think
absolutely.
They asked me if I have any pre-show superstitions, and I thought I'm just going to stroke my dog.
From the many other shows that you presented.
Well, exactly, yeah. If Willow was there, then I feel I'd be more relaxed. But I've got a suit.
I haven't seen you in a suit for a long time.
One of the most prestigious events, not in the ways of I
hope you flagged yourself a free suit. I hope you called someone when I'm presenting, can I get a free suit?
No. Just pop down.
You've got so much to learn.
This is why I'm talking to you. I know. We should have had a pre-call, shouldn't we? Yeah, but I'm there.
So is it? To talk about film set before we talk about what happens on the night. What kind of films do you like? What are your top 5 films?
Oh,
pressure.
Mate.
I know. Just at the moment. What have you watched recently that you liked? How about that?
One of those questions that never, every time someone asks it, bang, it just goes out. It's like your favorite album. You go, But I am thinking of recent. We watched Kindred the other day, and I believe that's up for a few awards. Right. That was fantastic. Fiona Shaw, obviously, who plays the lovely Dursley, Mrs. Dursley. She's
all roads lead back to Potter.
Exactly right.
She's done nothing else. She might be one of the greatest stage actors we've had in British history, but she is nonetheless most famous for being in the Potter films.
Well, and she's very, you just can't help but, she's drawing, as in you can't help but
She's a
be.
genius. Yeah, she's a genius.
Yeah.
So that what people might not know that in terms of film
Nat,
history.
I watched last night again for about the 50 millionth time. Love it. Love Guy Ritchie.
Oh yeah, you liked it. What did you like about it?
The humor, the quotability, the silliness. You know,
Right.
it doesn't take itself too seriously. You know, Benicio del Toro is getting getting different suits made, and every time we cut back to him on the phone, he's wearing something different, which of
Right.
course completely mocks the idea that there's a timeline at all.
Right.
But I think that's really cool. I mean, amongst that and the cinematography, the way it's shot, I think it's beautiful.
And what? So you asked me what makes it? Because you've done big studio movies and you've done a few indies. How does it feel being in them? And what do you feel about the things that you watch? Do you choose to watch bigger or smaller films? Generally?
I think there's enough emphasis put on the fact that a $40 million film is up against a $40,000 film. I'm not to say you need money, but it's a hell of a lot easier not to remortgage your house, not to sell your car and all that sort of stuff. You're putting these films are made almost with literally blood, sweat, and tears versus.
No, but you know what else they're made? They're made with passion. You only do that stuff if you think this is a story that needs to be out there. So I've been in many things where the people making it, and it's not that it's not well done. People making it are making it so that they can continue to send their kids to very expensive schools and buy a holiday home, and just to maintain their lifestyle. And they use their talent; they are talented to do that. But the independent films come from a different place. They come from a place where someone goes, "This is a story it needs to be seen." This is I want to affect people, I want to change people, I want to provide a memory or a conversation starter. Because it's important is the wrong word, but I want to grab people, and not because my Tesla is getting old now. And there's a very different motivation, I think. What's your experience been of, because you've been in some dire circumstances making some cheap films, and do you think does it make the work different, or is it just you don't?
Been a backwards learning experience for me. Obviously, I mean, we first worked together on Chamber of Secrets. That's 18 years ago when I was yay high, and obviously I started really at the top of the tree as far as how much money they can spend or something. But I was really, really keen, as a massive British cinema fan, I was really keen to get more involved. So I suppose, when I first started doing independent films, it was your opinion was where I actually grew. Really, I mean, as charming as Draco is, it's kind of like, here's what we want you to do, and I'm just hoping that I'm going to do it somewhat close to what they want. Versus someone coming up to you and saying, like, well, do you think he would wear that? Do you think he would look in that direction? And I suppose choices. I never understood when actors are like, oh, great choice, lovely choice.
Right.
You're choosing. I don't know what's going on. But so having that freedom, and I suppose not to blow smoke in your direction, and don't
do it. Don't even finish. What's smoke blowing in their direction? That's a crappy thing to do. Something.
I know, but I've learned from the best. Yours truly included, and it was really nice to be able to bring that to other projects, and not necessarily what's on camera, it's what happens off camera. And you
always.
And all of the Potter cast, Alan and Helena, taught me how to be part of the crew. I feel like my energy crew is just as valuable whether I'm on the camera or not. You try to bring good vibes. It's a creative process, isn't it? So you want to be open. You don't want to shoot someone down and make them feel stupid or any of that. So yeah, don't get me wrong. Some of the scenes that you think are okay are disastrous at the end of it. But
you can fail. That's the other thing. Independent films, you can fail. You're having a go at something creative. You're taking a swing. Someone just wrote, "Why aren't you listening to the comments?" ! I don't know, because it's mostly hearts and icons. The fact is, there are, I don't know how many people here, lots of people, and they're here just because they like looking at Tom. I'm just in some other part of the screen, and they're iconic, just emojiing hearts, lots of hearts. I don't know how to read that out loud. Is it that? I don't know, whatever it is.
Talking to each other, Father. I mean, every 5-minute chat always ends up with being an hour and a half.
Well, I feel like I'm letting them down. Well, first of all, let's remind everyone, the kids don't put an icon on the screen. Thursday night, 8 o'clock. Watch Tom. It's only an hour long. Present the BIFTA Awards, and also, apart from watching Tom have a fabulous time, he will be introducing you to some films pretty much all of which are out now and available on streaming. If not, you can go to watch.biffa.com, I think, and it will tell you where they're available to watch. But I'm letting them down by not asking you.
If there's
What's
official.
Okay, what will your signature move be? These are the questions that sent me. What will your signature move be? I'm aware, by the way, in case anyone's noticing it, that I have great makeup on. I'm filming at the moment. That's why I'm in this hotel. And
What are you filming?
A pilot for American telly. But
word.
I came home last night and I had fabulous makeup on here. And I FaceTime up Mrs. Emma, and she went, "God, you look great, love. I really think you've been resting and exercise." I said, No. I said, I'm covered in makeup and hair product. No. And she went, "You look good." And I thought, I should sleep in it and do this thing with Tom tomorrow. I should sleep in the makeup. I thought, no, actually, I've seen people wake up after. It's not good. So I cleaned it all off. Then this morning, I thought, oh, Jesus, it's that again. So good. So now I just went 2 minutes before we did this. I went in the bathroom. And I've got a makeup stick I stole from my daughter's. Rubbed it on my face like that. And I'm just looking closely. And I look a little bit like I'm someone who's been repaired after a road accident for an open coffin. Anyway, there we are.
You look fresh. Should I wear makeup on the night, Father?
You don't need it. You're gorgeous. What are you talking about? Just don't have a moustache.
They have like a
stylist. You had a moustache in a recent film. I'm not a moustache fan. I can't, Okay. So, do you have any superstition? What is the best thing about hosting an award show? Well, he doesn't know. He's not done before. What's the worst? Are there any actors or filmmakers you're looking forward to meeting? Meeting is crossed out because you're not meeting them.
Surely the best thing is that you probably get more screen time than anyone, and surely the worst thing is you definitely aren't nominated.
Yeah, there is that one. What independent films made an impression on you? That's not fair. How do you feel about future British independent film? You better be in them. If you could give a Lifetime Achievement Award to any actor apart from me, who would you choose?
I mean, again, it's just one of those. There's so many that I look up to in different ways. Performance-wise, yeah, it's
hard to choose anyone apart from me, isn't it? It's hard.
Well, no, but genuinely, I like to think of cinema, and I'm actually in the moment we're shooting a British independent film.
Are you? Do you have an accent in it by any chance?
I do, but I'm not going to.
No, that's lovely. We love Scottish films.
I have loved being in Wales. I must say, it's a fantastic country, and everyone's been great. Great. In fact, yeah, we're working with some of the people that have been nominated for these various different films, so that's fantastic.
Oh, really? What were you working with? People who are Biffa nominees? Who are they?
Well, I can't name them because in case.
Okay, that's not fair. Okay.
But sorry, what was your original question?
I've no idea. Have you seen Host yet? You're definitely like that.
No.
Okay, it doesn't nominate for various categories. It was made on Zoom during lockdown, and it's a horror film, and it's fantastically terrifying. I saw it in the house alone, lights off, on an iPad, in bed, shat myself and put the lights on.
I don't. That sounds. I'm not.
Doesn't appeal to you.
No. That sounds terrifying, mate.
Okay, don't watch that.
I can't watch that by myself. No, I spend all night roaming around the house, wondering if something's lurking.
But so here's a task, I think. So for anyone at home, so I am culturally just moronic and have never listened to any music or read any books or done anything other than watch telly most of my life. But talking to Tom, I feel like one of the world's greatest polymaths because he is. I've never seen anything I've ever referenced. So I sent him a film list recently, including such obscure Iranian classics as The Godfather, for instance, which he'd never seen, the taxi driver. And you've made your way through one of the list, is that right?
2.5. 2.5.
So which one? The Godfather 1 and 2?
Yes.
And what's the half?
The other half, I think actually, no, I watched The Godfather twice. I'm a big rewatcher.
Yeah, that's not the second one. Watching the first one second is not Godfather 2. It's another film.
No, that's true. It's true. Yeah, Godfather twice is not the second one.
Yeah, I've seen it 100 times. It's brilliant.
And then I got sort of 2/3 of the way through. So no, I've seen 1.5. Yes, 1.5.
Okay. Who are the greats? I'm putting on the spot now. You're lucky it's dark. You won't blush. Who are some of the great British independent filmmakers of the last 30 years whose work you would like to watch, given that you haven't seen it?
Well, I mean, this is the beauty. Well, Guy Ritchie, Amor Asante, working with people that I suppose one of the obvious ones is that
Guy Ritchie is a wonderful director, but he's not an independent filmmaker. Oh, he was when he started with Lock, Stock, but they're studio films. But he's Amor Asante is fantastic. That's true.
Yes.
I'm thinking of the Ken Loaches and maybe Michael Winterbottom. Stephen Frears. God, 1,000 miles.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking, Father. Calm down, calm down. Yeah, I mean, listen, this is something that I
You're
should
going
have
to
had.
work with these people. They're watching this. They're not watching this. They'll be watching on Thursday night. And
Well, but I'll have a far better system than sitting in a travel lodge car park.
but genuinely, genuinely, are you anxious about it? Because I've watched you now, having done what you've done last year so brilliantly on social media. You seem very comfortable in front of a microphone with the guitar. Are you going to sing?
No, they've asked me to bring the ukulele along. I've got it in the back here, but
Well,
I
let's see.
don't.
How many people watching today would like to see Tom
No, I don't.
strum at least while he's talking?
I really want to respect the. I don't want to be jovial. Okay, it means a lot to me
No,
to.
no,
So
no, no.
I want
I
to
can
start
counsel
off.
you this. That there have been people, not hosts. I guess it's different. You're not going to get laugh feedback from the audience. Um, but there have been hosts, and also sometimes people when they accept, who give a very
Yeah,
serious speech. It's a room full of people who want to have a good time.
yeah.
But that actually leads me to something that I think is worth talking about.
Go on.
Maybe some of the nominees will watch this. I doubt they'll have got this far, frankly, after the first 5 minute debacle of me wanking on. But but nonetheless, uh, do you have any advice for people who accept? You know, because there'll be Q&As and there'll be actors coming on and directors.
Oh,
Any advice for them?
I'd be intrigued about your opinion on this. My grandfather always said, well, I don't particularly enjoy hearing 30 names listed off, all of which you're either sitting with them or you have their phone numbers and you can speak to them one on one. And then not to say that these people shouldn't be thanked, but my grandfather always said, thank the people that you never thanked and that you don't have the number for. So maybe it's the guy
Right.
trailer, maybe it's the caterer that made your bacon sandwich, that made you whatever. It could be the smallest thing or the biggest thing in the world. And I think try to find the interesting people that made it enjoyable and made it even possible for you to do. And then obviously thank your mum.
Yeah, see, I think, with respect to your grandfather, who's
What makes
clearly
a
a
good
wise man, that's all bollocks. Because you shouldn't
dad?
thank
Huh?
anyone, because this, you thank them by phoning them up and thanking them. Send them a card, send them a gift basket, send them a pony, if you like. It's a show, and you've got eyes and ears to talk about your film, the story. You can say why it's important. By the end of your speech, people should think, I want to watch that. Because it's not, if you're in a closed room and it's not going out online, or it's not going out on telly, then fine. Read out your IMDb Pro cast list and talk about, the drama teacher in school who encouraged you, or get revenge on the school bully, or whatever it is. But that's a very, very small audience. You've got a lot of people watching. I think you should go, this story's about the connection, and we're also disconnected staying at home now, or this is a story. Somehow talk about what made you want to make it, and why it drove you, why you mortgaged your house. And don't waste any time. Don't say this. I had the most incredible cast and crew, and my God, my DP was. Everyone's incredible. Everyone's talented. Everyone devoted themselves. You couldn't thank them all. Yes, you couldn't have done it alone. It takes a village. There are a billion cliches. No, everyone switches off when they hear that, and that's all true. And you must make that speech when you have the party to celebrate the fact that your film has done really well, or that you all made this thing together. Don't thank anybody at all, unless for some particular reason that it's a story that not only is unusual and has never before been heard, but has a similar effect, which is by the end, we have some idea why we might want to watch this film. So let's say His House, for instance, wins something, which is a brilliantly entertaining, horrific, disturbing, wonderful, inspiring piece, but it's inspired by the refugee experience and the alienation in a foreign land experience and all this stuff, and guilt, and talk about those things if you win, Remy. Not about how brilliant everybody was, and not even about those people who don't normally get thanked. Send them a check. Does anyone use checks anymore? I haven't had a checkbook, but whatever. Send them cash. Send them something. Send them an iTunes card. Don't thank anyone at all. Just tell us a story about why
Sometimes
this
nice
matters.
public display of affection for the patience of your lovely Emma wife, for example, and the compassion that
It's
she has.
boring as fuck for everyone. It's like Emma's my wife. I can tell her a million times. I can treat her. My actions will show how much I thank her.
Of affection that sometimes that can be nice. I mean, it can take 5 seconds to say it, so it's not like people are going to be.
But guess
Uh,
what? Everybody thanks their wife or their husband or their son
you
or their sister or whatever. That it doesn't matter. This is like it's just these are independent films. These are films that should be seen. Hopefully, will be seen. Will be highlighted on Thursday, and by the fact they can put Biffa winner on their or Biffa nominee on their posters or online adverts. And I want them to be seen. I want this culture to continue because I want to work in it, because they're the stories that I want and love to tell. I want, you're not starting out in your career, but I'm much older than you. I want you to be in hundreds of these films. That'll only happen if people watch them. And people watch them, and so then other people will put money into them, and streamers will show them. Biff is a phenomenally prestigious brand. The more people watch those films, the more Sky and Netflix and Amazon will go, well, click on this, you can watch the Biffa winners or the Biffa nominees, And so any time wasted in a speech talking about, one day we shot on this thing and there was a lovely man who let us be in it. Who fucking cares? That's not, it's just not, it's your experience and it's valid, but communicate with those people separately.
Should I wrap them up? Do I play some sort of music to remind them?
So I once hosted the British Film Critics Awards. And Jason Solomons, who was chairman at the time, asked me to do it, and I went, I hate awards ceremonies. I hate everyone getting up there and thanking loads of people. I just think the reason for it, or the meat and potatoes of the evening, is when the winners get their thing, and you want to pull the curtain back and go, oh look, this is the creatives. They can tell us something. And he said, well, you do whatever you like. And I said, whatever I like. So yeah, I said, can I have a gong? And can I say you're not allowed to thank anyone? If you do, I'm going to kick you off the stage. He went, and I did that. And I said, get up here, don't thank anyone. And I listed, I thanked everybody who was, important in the film industry at the time, including someone who's in jail now. And I said, well, we know that. Here's my agent's IMDb Pro password. And I gave it out. He wasn't happy. I said, you can look up the cast and crew. So just get up here, tell a story about what it meant to you, and make sure you swear so that we know we're not on television. And Armando Iannucci got up. He said, right, that cunt Isaac says I've got to swear. So, and then he didn't thank anyone. And so no one thanked anyone all night. And there was a French director, I think a wonderful French director of The Prophet, maybe, got it, said, but I do have to, important to thank. And I went, no. And he went, no, but I have to. I went, no, you don't do it. And he went, and he didn't. And it was a much better speech for it. And so, but for my money, award ceremonies are and have increasingly got rubbish. And we want to watch the host and not the people who win. And the people who win have a unique chance to stand up there and tell us something magical about their story.
Should I create my own set of rules? I mean,
yes, whatever works for you. Don't use mine, but yeah, absolutely. Are you interviewing them? Because I guess they're not recording. Are you going to talk to them or what?
I assume so. I mean, I am completely in the blind, really, of how. I mean, believe it or not, but I'm about as crap with technology as you are. So. But
you've got people. You've got people.
Well, I mean, the person in the suit, yeah, he'll be there to. I'm assuming to avoid the 20-minute display that we had. Hold of each
They'll edit that out and no one will know what we're talking about. But if this is an edited version, I was just faffing about for a long time like a blind grandfather. Anyway, so what's your plan? How much of your own stamp have you put on what's going to happen on Thursday? Or do you just go, tell me what you want and I'll do that?
Well, yeah, to be honest with you, as a first timer and as doing it in this new format, I know Biffa are trying to find their feet with it and to make it as good. Because everyone raves about the Biffas. Every single actor.
It's a great night out. It is a great night out.
Everyone's always like,
I wish we were there together.
Well,
and I take you around the room and I go to everyone I know and I go, this is Tom, give him a job. He's amazing. Well, not that you're not short of work, but it's a great opportunity to see your friends. You know what it is? It's a sit-down dinner where nobody sits down. And they keep trying to get you to sit down because you just want to talk to people you haven't seen forever. The nature of our business is you're on the road all the time. And the people you really like, you feel you have an intense connection with, you actually have that for 4 months, you don't see them for 5 years. Sure. And so a lot of hugging and kissing and all that stuff.
I'm banking on me not ballsing it up too bad, and that's getting an invite. Well, you're always going to get an invite, but if not, I'll come as your +1.
I'd love that.
You can show me around the room and apologise for my...
and then there's dancing. There's a good night, always, we celebrate these films, and then there's a party.
All right.
Young people dance, and the older people drift to the sides and watch the young people, but it's deafening music. You can't really talk then. So people go outside on the balcony and freeze themselves. That's generally what happens every year. I went to Charlie's Angels premiere once in Los Angeles many years ago. My friend Uta, and they had just banging 70s disco on, fantastic. But it's Los Angeles, and everyone was way too cool to dance. And there were a million agents in the studio, and she goes, "Come on, let's dance." And I went, "I don't know, love. I'm an actor. I can't." She goes, "Come on, let's do it." We're right in the middle of the dance floor, thousands of people around. It was just us, like it was going to be a display. And she went, "Come on, dance." We started dancing, and you know what? 10 minutes later, nobody was dancing. It was a nightmare. It was the opposite of what you hoped for, and we slunk off the dance floor and I went home.
Oh, well, look, I think the Biffers, and I'm sure you can confirm this for me, is the complete opposite of that. I mean, even the nature of British, I feel like some Brits would win an award and go, no, 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 take it back. I'd rather not have the spotlight on me, versus the idea of like, obviously people are going to be disappointed, or rather over the moon if they win, but I can't imagine
Wait,
any.
what have you been? You've been nominated in the past for something. What have you been nominated for? You had Potter nominations.
I
I
don't know.
feel like you didn't get
They're
the
not
best sexiest villain or anything.
something like that. Best kiss. No, I don't know what. No, the yeah, I think just to really not get too worried about it, I suppose. And I can't see anyone going, oh bugger, he won rather than me. I think it's all in good.
No, no, you go. You see
Fun.
that on the right. It's fine. Here's the thing. I've been nominated a couple of times, not won the major awards. I've won many minor awards, and I'm always the bridesmaid at the bigger ones. I mean, whatever. I was nominated for Golden Globe. They cancelled the ceremony that year. That's the one I'm still bitter about. Um, but you think, oh, I've got no chance of winning. It's rubbish. And then awards are kind of silly, and they serve a really important purpose of independent film, which is just to give them a profile, put a spotlight on them. And I'm not going to think about it. It's a great night. It's an honor just to be nominated. Then you get there and you think, actually, I really want to win this thing because now I've got a chance. I'm on the list of four. And then when you don't, it's crushing because everybody comes up all night long like you've just, your dog just died, going, I'm so sorry. I voted for you. So I hope that one of the nice things about being online is that no one's going to have to put up with people all night going, oh, or
Once,
avoiding you.
all I'll see is the happy faces, hopefully not pixelated, joyously over the moon. I'm hoping that people will be the same as me because they're not standing on a stage looking at either bored faces or
Yeah, yeah.
whatever. That they might not harp on for too long, but they might actually bring,
Well, it's
you
going to be
know,
short. The whole thing's going to be short, and the whole thing's less than an hour, which is,
yeah, which
normally the ceremony's hours and hours, which is great.
right, which is good because we're gonna have a nice fast-paced action to it. And the beauty is, we don't actually have to kick anyone physically off the stage. We just push the little X at the top right. Move on. Sorry, we lost him.
No, well, we don't do that at Biffa. We don't do the 45 seconds the orchestra comes up. I'm always thinking, sell your film. Just tell us what was the inspiration. What when you were growing up living in a cupboard under the stairs. Just tell us whatever it is that made you want to. Michaela Cole, when she does publicity for I May Destroy You, she doesn't go, oh, we have the most amazing DP. She goes, I was assaulted, and I needed to work out what that was and what that meant to me and how I was going to deal with it. That's I think what it's for on the night.
Well, I
So
thought I'll keep that in mind, and I'll make sure that I do probe them if they start waffling on about their
who
45.
wouldn't want to be probed by you? Absolutely right.
Well, yeah,
Let me ask you this. So, I to remind people of this. So, for your many millions of followers, and I think there's 3 men in there. But for them, when they when they come, one of the reasons they might want to come, apart from hanging out with you, is that they will see the stars of tomorrow, the actors and actresses and filmmakers and storytellers and in every department. But they will see the talent of tomorrow, and they will have seen them when they were just starting out, many of them, and they'll get a peek at
yeah,
who they are, which is one of the fantastic things of having been associated with Biffa for so long. Is I've seen people at the beginning of their career, and you go, you are really phenomenal. That's you have an integrity or an imagination or something, and then you watch them just grow and grow and grow and grow, and the world starts recognizing their talent. So it's one of the great appeals is to come and see people, when they were working on $40,000 films. You'd be
definitely.
amazed. You'd be amazed how many people make films for nothing on their phone and send them into Biffa, and they're often great.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and also the nature of being a successful actor means you tend to be recognised. Naturally, if you've seen that face before in something else, I might not jump as easy. If Tom
Yeah, you might
Cruise.
not suspend your imagination as quickly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, it's true.
So
Well,
all these
that's one of the great things actually about film festivals going online too, and you can watch lots of Biffa films through the Biffa portal or be pointed at them. Is that I was in a Sundance film this year and I didn't get to go, and one of the things I regretted was that many times I've been at Sundance, someone's gone, I've got a ticket for a film, starts in 5 minutes. You just go in and you have no idea what it is. And then the screens, the lights come on, and you don't know who the people are because they're not actors you're very familiar with. And it means you're instantly able to submit and just be taken off on a wave of someone's kind of storytelling skill. And you don't have anything to go over, like you say. You don't have to go, oh, I've seen this person be what's his name? Ethan Hunt, 10 times. And it's not great for people who have familiar faces because you don't get cast on them. But it is wonderful to watch new faces because you just believe they are those people.
Yes, it gives you a chance, doesn't it, to go, this is completely and utterly real, as in,
Yeah.
you know, the chance of it being. Well,
I know the answer to this question.
Go on,
I
mate.
don't know why I'm asking it. Have you ever seen Winter's Bone?
No,
Stupid.
no, I haven't, but I know of it. That's a very.
So I was at a film festival and I was given a ticket and I didn't know what it was. Someone just said, "This is great, you should see it." And I went in, and this film unfolded about meth and these families destroyed by it in the Ozark Mountains. And I thought it was almost like a documentary, just brilliant film. But you know, it wasn't. It was a cast. It was this young girl, and it's 17-year-old girl, and she exploded out of the screen like a supernova. And it was in Scotland. And it was Jennifer Lawrence, her first one, it might be her second one, her first one. And I went straight to the bookies over the road in Edinburgh, across Princess Street. And I went in, they were just taking down the newspapers off the walls at the end of the day. I said, "Can I put a bet on?" He said, "It was just closing down, pal." And I said, "Yeah, but it's not a horse race." "Where is it?" I said, "I've just seen a film. I want to bet on someone I've just seen getting an Oscar nomination." He took a really long time and he went, "You from London?" And I went, "Yeah." He goes, "Fucking hell." And he gave me such stick about how he'd have to phone head office. I didn't do it, and I wish I had, because you just discover talent early on, and it's a magnificent thing. And that there are so many films nominated that you will be presenting and that you'll be talking to, the people participating who are in that category. You know.
Wow, that's the best bit, isn't it? You don't really know who you're seeing yet, as in 5 years' time, who knows what will be the results of
and they'll all owe you, every single one of them.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm going to buy some favors with the right sort of filmmakers that I want to end up working with.
The bummer is that you can't. Oh no, you're bringing it to a close because you want to get out the car park. I'm in a flat.
First of all, I had to find the light. Otherwise,
it is getting dark.
Progressively darker.
I thought that was moody lighting. Let me check. I've asked all the important things that they want to know.
Go on.
Could you give everyone your phone number? No, not that. What? So when can people watch this magnificent thing? When is that?
It's being streamed on Biffa's on their pages, their YouTube page, their Facebook page.
So it's Facebook page, there's YouTube page.
Yes, and I would any other links I'm sure are on the Biffa website.
We were meant to present something. Well, I was meant to come on and present something with you, and I'm filming, and I said to them, like it's my first day on a film set ever, I said to them, "Listen, Thursday in the middle of the afternoon, my son, my friend, is hosting an award show, and I'm hoping to present one of the awards with him. Is there any chance that when they call, we could just stop filming for 15 minutes? And they went, "What?" I said, "Just like stop, everyone go for a cup of tea." And they went, "You out of your fucking mind?" And I went, "Yeah, okay, sorry I asked." So I won't be there with you, but I will be there with you in spirit.
You can send me a picture.
All right. Well, the good thing is, well, you know this. I've watched you do something like, you know, I have no advice for you because you'll be brilliant, because you are brilliant. And there is no wrong, because it's just you not pretending to be any other than you hosting the Biffers. You don't have to be anyone other than you, and that'll be great. That's more than enough.
That's really nice advice, actually, because I think if I am going to panic, it's trying to be someone that I think they want.
You don't have to be Stephen Fry or Graham Norton. They would have asked them. But no, they want you. They want you because you're lovely. Just be you. And all right, we should bring it to a close, and then I'll call you and find out why you didn't fucking call me back for the last few weeks. Everybody, Thursday night, watch Tom present the Biffers, and then go and see all the films. That's the point. Any film that catches your interest, go and watch it and support British independent film. And now, of course, with that lovely outline, I don't know what button to press. I don't even know how to get out. I'm sorry for all the comments we didn't read. There are many, many comments. They mostly just say, "I love you, Tom." I love Tom, so I'm glad that we all love Tom. I think we love him for different reasons and we have different desires, but nonetheless, thank you for loving Tom.
Well, now I'm blushing. Sorry, not gushing.
Oh, right, I said there's an X. If I press the X, this might end.
Press the X.
Okay. Bye.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye, Dad. See you, mate.
Bye.